I just learned some jazz today, it's true. He just learned some jazz today, and you gon' learn.
Yeah, that's right. This is episode 57. I try to do that, guys. So it's episode 57. I heard there's something that's happening. What is happening?
I got some major news for you.
What's the major news?
We are opening up seats to the Irie Lemon Mastermind.
No way.
Oh, yeah.
I thought you just said one and done.
Look, you guys, limited time only. Enrollment closes December 15th. You can join us starting in January. Who's hyped?
I'm like,
So, Vince, do you know who can apply?
who can apply?
Look, you guys, this is a virtual mastermind. So you can do this from the comfort of your pajamas in your living room from anywhere in the world.
Anywhere?
Anywhere. The only requirements is that you've been in business over 5 years and that you're ready to take your business to the next level. Does that sound like fun? Do you want to learn more?
I want to learn more. Where can they learn more?
You guys, the link below, click to apply, and we'll send you all the details. You can also learn more at irielemon.com. The other way to learn more is to keep listening to this episode where we break down all the benefits of joining the Irie Lemon Mastermind.
Enjoy the show.
You gon' learn, you gon' learn, you gon' learn.
What's up, guys? It's Vince from the Irie Lemon Podcast. Make sure you subscribe,
When I
baby.
say stick up, and lift up. Couldn't always in there, no kunta kinte. Have the strength to intent like this.
All right, everybody. Today, we're going to talk about something near and dear to our hearts, and it's the benefits of joining a business mastermind. Are you hyped for this?
I'm geeked. So, first off, let's talk about what we did this past week.
All right.
We were in Traverse City.
Yep.
It's so cool to see like businesses, like restaurants and bars figure all that stuff out.
Yeah, I agree with that. It's been interesting. Obviously, traveling is not happening as much right now, but it's really nice to help support local destinations, local businesses, small businesses, and the heart of middle America is small family-owned businesses. So we basically went up to Traverse City and we visited a lot of the different locally owned shops and restaurants and eateries and just tried to give some love and spread the word. And my heart kind of breaks for a lot of small businesses right now.
Yeah, and it's cool. Yeah, and not cool that the heart got broken, but it's cool to still see people pivot. And so if you're listening to this podcast and you haven't listened to the Grand Traverse Resort podcast, go ahead and listen. We met with the GM and their PR person, and they kind of, I don't want to spoil it too much, but they gave us like their DNA and how they pivoted and how they kept people on staff. And it was such an inspiring story. Well, the reason why I brought up the week is because we did our mastermind call.
Yeah.
And so we did our mastermind call. It's like an hour and a half call with, business leaders in our community, or even just, actually not even locally.
Right.
They're all over. And so it was such a great call. We realized, we have to do this. We have to open it up.
Right.
We have to do more. And so Liz had a great idea about explaining the benefits of doing a mastermind. And so we're going to riff off for a couple minutes doing that.
Yeah, I think that, you hear the word mastermind, like, what does it
So,
really mean?
yeah, what is a mastermind?
I know.
Like, what the fuck is a mastermind?
Is a mastermind. So a mastermind, in my opinion, and of course anyone can define it how they wish, but to me it is getting together with a group of like-minded individuals for a common goal. And typically those like-minded individuals, they have similar goals, whether it's growth goals or business goals or whatever it might be. And essentially I look at it into a few basic categories. So number one, to help with accountability. Number two, to help build a sense of community, which is super important now. I mean, we just kind of went back into more of a somewhat lockdown mode here in Michigan with indoor gatherings under 10, no in-room dining or in-restaurant dining. So community is needed more than ever. Obviously networking and also helping reach specific goals and cheering one another's successes on along the way. So we're going to kind of talk today about 10 specific benefits of joining a mastermind in case you're thinking of joining one or you feel inspired to start your own. You guys, I'm a big proponent if you're wanting to be part of a mastermind, if you're listening to this like, oh, I want to be part of a mastermind and you don't know of one, well, A, you do now. It's the Irie Lemon Mastermind. But let's say our mastermind isn't for you, which we'll talk about ours, but start your own. You know, I'm a big
Or
fan.
find one, yeah.
Or find one, yeah. They're not hard to start up. So why don't we start by talking about, well, should we talk about what our mastermind's about first or talk about the
Well,
other
I'm
one?
gonna give them my explanation of a mastermind. So if you are, so I'm gonna do the if you're not and who you are thing, right? So a mastermind is definitely for somebody who is looking to break through the glass to the next level. So let's say you're trying to go from 6 to 7, 7 to 8 figures. Find things or people that inspire you or people who are on that same journey. The benefit of a mastermind, in my opinion, is now you have a soundboard of entrepreneurs who may not be in the same business as you, but deal with similar problems, right? And
Yeah.
so entrepreneurship is super lonely. It's hard. And it's great to have a soundboard of people that you can rely on and trust on. And so one of the benefits, so this is one of the first tips, the benefits of having a mastermind is that community, right? Is having that soundboard of people that you can communicate
And
with.
why is that, like, for example, why has that been helpful for you having now been part of our mastermind?
Well, I think it's just, communication and having multiple perspectives just help you find the solution, right? And so, and it's great to have people who are unbiased, people who are not in your business, people that you may necessarily not have to see every single day,
Yeah.
give you a suggestion.
They're not your family. They don't
Yeah.
love you. Like, it's completely
Who are,
unbiased.
who are also successful in their own right? And so I think it's great to have that team or have those leaders really that you can have a soundboard on. It's like your own
Board of directors?
board of directors, your own office, your own people that you can soundboard off.
Especially when you work for yourself and you don't necessarily have an actual board of directors. You don't actually have like a whole group of people like that you talk to regularly. It's almost like a built-in board of directors.
Yeah, and I think I can just go into this can be a 1.5 tip.
Yeah.
Accountability, and that could be a full tip or a half
Hey,
tip.
that's a full tip. That's a big one.
Having people that can hold you accountable and know what you're trying to accomplish, because I think a lot of visionary. So I also think if you're a visionary, you're probably amped to be in a mastermind, just because you have a fuck ton of ideas, a ton of things you're trying to accomplish, and so keeping people that can keep you on that. Hey, remember you said you want to do this?
Yeah.
Keep holding you accountable and also supporting you through that journey. Like I'm not gonna mention any names, but one of our people, like, she has built a new website, and I just went through it the other day, and I was like, okay, that was her like her struggle point, like figuring how to convert it all and change it and build her business for because she's in real estate for 2020 and 2021. It was great that she was able to soundboard off that, get advice from everyone around, and now she's accomplishing that goal. And I think that's
it helps you uncover pain points.
Yeah, and so I'm glad we're able to hold her accountable to that.
Yeah, I agree with that. Okay, I would say another big benefit similar to community is it helps you get a perspective for someone that's not in your industry. So prior to joining the Irie Lemon Mastermind, almost everyone I talked to regularly about business was in the food blogging space. And while that's super helpful and amazing, I'm kind of at the point now where my business is growing beyond the blog. So it's really beneficial for me to get an opinion from someone that might be in the insurance industry or the finance industry or the commercial videography industry, whatever it might be. I know when I designed the Irie Lemon podcast, for example, I specifically wanted to be a diverse group of people from different industries because I feel like we already have like our built-in networks within our industry. For example, you're probably part of different restaurant organizations. I'm part of different food blogging Facebook groups, and I get invited to food blogging conferences, but I don't get invited to insurance conferences, and I don't get invited to lots of retreats with somebody in the real estate world. But I know I have a lot to learn and can grow a lot more if I have people in my inner circle that are not in the food blogging space. So to me, that would definitely be a big benefit of joining a mastermind. And obviously, if that's of interest, that's definitely a benefit of joining the Irie Lemon Mastermind.
Yeah, I agree. So those are the 3 tips of why masterminds are important. I want the next tips to be why our mastermind is better than everybody else's list.
Okay.
So go first.
Okay.
Why the Irie Lemon Mastermind?
So here's why. First of all, we designed it intentionally. We designed it with intention. And I will say the one thing that I wanted in particular was I wanted a group of 6-figure business owners that had been in business more than 5 years. And here's why. I kept hearing from a lot of other counterparts that there was no mastermind built where everyone was at the same level. And so what was happening is that we would join masterminds, and essentially you'd have a lot of people that are either launching a new side hustle, maybe they want to become influencers on Instagram, or they're just starting a YouTube channel, and they're aspiring, but they're not quite at the level where we can mutually give and take advice, knowledge, information. And in my opinion, if you have a group of people that everyone's on similar wavelengths and of similar experience levels and similar growth goals, what will happen is that you'll give and take equally. And when that happens, Vince, is that the more that people realize that they're getting as much as they're giving, they're just going to give more. And when people are giving more, that means everyone's gaining more. Versus you go to a couple masterminds, you realize that you're not really going to get as much from them. Everyone's going to kind of shut down. It's going to get quiet. There's not going to be a lot of interaction. And it's just going to be a lot of wasted time for everybody.
Yeah, I call that pacing, right? Like in business, people are at certain paces.
Talk about that concept.
So if you're at a 10-minute mile a pace, sorry guys, my phone's going off. 10 mile, what was I about to say?
A 10 mile per
hour 10-minute
runner.
mile pace, then you're not ready to be at 6-minute mile pace. Sorry, I'm getting tongue twisted here.
Clearly we're not runners.
Yeah, Let me redo that one.
I was like a 10-minute mile.
Yeah, I'm like what?
I'm like,
okay, so if you're at, so I call it pacing.
Wait, is running a mile in 10 minutes good or bad?
Depending on who you are.
Okay. Anyway.
So I'm not gonna say that's bad or good, but if you run 10 miles, you probably want to cut that down a little bit. You know what I'm saying? I just look at it like, and mind you, I'm not.
I'm like anyone that runs
don't
miles.
attack me over this. I just look at it, someone's trying to kill you, and it takes you 10 minutes to get a mile away. It's not good for you, buddy. So let's get that down.
And I'm like, anyone that's running a mile is a hero to me.
Well, first off, everyone gets a trophy. Yeah, but let's make sure that.
All right, to your point.
You want to be an 8-minute mile slowest.
But to your point, if you're going to be running, you want to find a running buddy that can run at your pace.
Yeah,
right?
And so the great thing about our mastermind is that, let's call it, we call it 6-figure. We're running 6-minute miles, and we're trying to get faster, right? And so it's great for that. But don't worry, guys. We are working on a thing for everyone else too. People who are just trying, aspiring. We're going to open it up to have a mastermind class for all those people.
Yeah.
But this one that we're opening up right now is for people who are at that level, who are trying to break through, who are trying to keep pace, who are trying to find the new edge, who are trying to come up with something new. And so I agree with you on that point of why it makes it special. Also, Liz and I, so this is the other tip. Liz and I aren't trying to come off as these gurus or experts, right? And so if you want to be around people who are honest and real and have a group like that, this is a perfect group for you.
Yeah.
If you want to be told what to do and you're looking for some guru or some God type figure, that's not us, right? We have things that have worked for us, and we're down to soundboard it with you. We're not trying to tell you exactly what to do or how to do it. What we're trying to do is have a conversation and what do you think? And at the end of the day, it's a great thing for entrepreneurs that I've seen in our group to kind of vent a little bit and get things off their chest and things that they're struggling with. And so we're not gonna act like we have all the answers. The goal is to create a diverse group of people that are trying to run a 6-minute mile. We're now trying to run a 5-minute 45 mile.
Right.
Right. And,
I agree with that.
Doing that 1% every single day is the goal to get better. And yeah, we do have a lot of things that we know. Right. You built an amazing business. I've built a business. And the great thing also, I'm just going on the riff right here. The great thing also is that you'll have access to the first mastermind group too.
Right.
You're going to have access to that group. So it's not going to be just your 12 people. It'll be another 12 people that you can communicate with.
Yeah. We have a private online community that'll bring everyone together.
So we're excited for this, guys. What else?
Wait, I have more to say. So
I'm not done. I'm just saying
well, you reminded me on your note, I should say. And I don't know if we would call this a separate tip or not. Good luck to Kirk doing the show notes here. But one other thing that you reminded me of. So what you're describing, I have a good example of that. So have you ever had an experience where you are struggling with a challenge, right? We call them, whether it's a pain point or a hurdle you're trying to get over. So for example, I recently was having an issue where I found that as my team was growing and now I'm running multiple businesses, I have a lot of different people now working for me. And what was happening is that I was the bottleneck in between everyone. So what I realized is that I didn't have a system in place for everyone to be talking with one another without involving me. And so what was happening is they were emailing me and texting me for every single thing they needed, but just about everything they needed had nothing to do with actually what I did. They need to be talking with one another. And that's all on me. That was my fault for not creating that infrastructure. And especially as entrepreneurs, business owners, many people that work for us are freelance contractors. So we are not all employees for Merit International, all working in a corporate office. Like Rich and I come from that world of, like Rich works for a big company and they all are on the same infrastructure and they all talk in one platform and they're all logged in at the same time and they all have weekly, the people that work for us, they have many other clients. They're on many different programs. So there just wasn't that structure, and that was on me. And it's so funny though, is that in the mastermind, I was just explaining what I was going through. I was like so overwhelmed by the problem and so like didn't know where to start. But I have to remember, I'm not the first person to run into this problem. And so everyone else was just like immediately like, yeah, this is called Slack. Get on it right now. And it just like somehow I just
Slack, it's called operation manager.
It just all these different things, right? Side note, hiring now an operations manager. Apply. Hit me up on Instagram at the Lemon Bowl if you're interested. But yeah, there were just a few things that I think until I had a group to explain it to, I just felt so overwhelmed by. And I think part of it too is they kind of made me feel less ashamed of having that problem to begin with, which kind of gives me those, like the being boss calls them fraudy feelings of like, wait, can I even be a CEO? Am I even capable? Like, I don't even know how to get my team talking with one another. And you start to have those like fears and doubts creep up. So this mastermind really helps you realize that you are not alone and you can get through this. And then also it saves you a lot of time because they can literally tell you right away what's worked for them.
And so, here's another tip too that's great about our mastermind, but masterminds in general. So there's two different types of teachers, right? There's teachers that you grew up with in school that don't really practice what they know. They just teach you a subject. That's their job. Then there's like life teachers, right? And so the great thing about a mastermind is like, I might learn a lot from somebody who's a real estate developer.
Right.
Because that's a great investment thing for me to learn.
Yeah.
And his mindset or her mindset on how to build that kind of business, right? And so the great thing about our mastermind is that you'll have many teachers or things that you don't know what to Google, right? The things that your pain points that you can't Google yourself out of.
Correct.
They can just like kind of explain it and someone will hear it and be like, oh, I've dealt with that 6 months ago. This is what I did to fix it and correct it. And so like, what's that quote? If you want to go fast, go alone. You want to go far, go with other people. A mastermind is great with to that quote. Right. It fits in.
Okay. I like that one.
I was about to say something else, but I lost my train of thought.
Well, I'll share another one. So another benefit of joining a mastermind, and obviously every mastermind is different. So in the Irie Lemon Mastermind, this is a big part of it, and it is for setting goals, goal setting and accountability, and specifically
that's what I was about to say.
Setting really strong goals. So push goals, like those big goals. And what's great about the Irie Lemon Mastermind is it's a 12-month mastermind. So 12 months allows you to have one of those bigger, meatier goals that you really can't get done in a month. You can't get it done in a quarter. You really do need a full year. But the benefit of how our mastermind is structured is that we do break it down into 30-day goals. And on top of setting your goal, well, let's just start. The minute you set a goal, you're already ahead of the pace of reaching it. Vince and I, for example, every year we go away on a goal setting retreat. We were in Jamaica last year. We're going to Turks this year. So excited. And the reason we do that is that every goal we sat down and wrote, we already surpassed it in September. So I'm a big believer. We have an entire episode on goal setting. So if you want to learn more about how I set goals and how I learned to set goals, please check out. We'll link to it in the show notes below. But that's a great episode to listen to. And so just setting those goals is important. Yeah. But then take it a step further. Now I know that Vince and the rest of the team, they're going to want to have a progress update and a status update for me on that goal. So now in between each call, I'm taking those steps to reach that goal.
Goes back to that running that pace.
Yeah.
You can't lag behind.
Right.
Yeah, you got to keep up.
Yeah, you'll kind of get left behind. And anyone in this group, it's like they don't want to be left behind.
Yeah, you're a 6-figure earner or more. You probably don't deal with a lot of those pain points. I would say of keeping up. Is how can you get faster? Yeah. How can you get better?
Yeah.
It's more of the conversation.
You're competing with yourself, if anything.
100%. 100%. You're not competing with each other. That's just your team you're running.
Yeah,
with.
I agree.
So,
Did I steal your point?
well, one thing I want to mention, and then you can add whatever you want to add up. Once you are in the Irie Lemon Mastermind, what do we call it? Group, you have access to a lot of things that we're going to be doing.
Yeah.
Business wise. So, like I mentioned earlier, like PDFs will be coming out, interviews with like people will be coming out like more in detail.
Hint, hint.
Hint.
There's a big announcement coming soon, but
yeah,
we can't share yet.
We can't share yet. But
This would not be a good episode to not continue listening. Let's just put it that way.
Exactly. So you'll have access to all those once you're in the
insider info, early access.
Early access, because we appreciate you for taking a bet on us. So we'll always take a bet on you.
Right.
And so.
So on that note, can we talk about pricing in a mastermind?
Go ahead.
So another benefit of joining a mastermind is that, and I guess this depends. There's paid masterminds and unpaid masterminds. I've been part of both. The Irie Lemon Mastermind is a paid mastermind. It's $300 a month, or you can pay for the full year and get 2 months free. And the reason that we do that is, now, just to be clear, Vince and I already have established businesses that we do not rely on this income for our livelihood. But the reason from all of my research and from personal experience is that when you pay for something, you show up. There's a reason why personal trainers exist. When you are paying someone $50, $60, $70, I don't even know what they cost now an hour, you're going to show up for that workout. When there's no one there waiting for you at the gym, you're not going to show up. Another example, if you pay for a course, you're going to take that course and you're going to show up for it and you're going to do the homework in between the modules. Whereas if someone hands you like a free book, you might not necessarily read it. It's like anything. If you pay for someone or if you pay for a service, you show up for it. And we have found in my experience as well, I've been in other masterminds, when they're not paying for it, attendance is low, people don't show up, they don't take it seriously, they don't do their goals. So that to me is that you have to invest in yourself to get it back, but that is the reason why, and I think that's such a huge benefit of our mastermind.
I agree with you too, and for behind the scenes too, like part of Liz and I's mission is to employ people and build a team, and so like a lot of those resources go to that, so we can continue to grow our businesses. It's not like, to your point, like we're not trying to buy a watch,
no,
or like we're good on that side of things. The goal is like, can we grow a business together? And so, and you guys are coming along that journey with us, and we want to be part of your journey as well. Right. So sign up for the mastermind.
Yeah, exactly. So, and to that note, the mastermind's only going to be open for a limited time. Yeah. So do not wait if you are interested. What's another benefit of being part of a mastermind? Maybe something that you've found to be already beneficial.
I think low commitment. We're not asking you to come on weekly calls. We're not asking you to do, because you're busy. You're running a business. It's once a month. Yep. Check in, and a community you can talk to on Facebook. Yeah. So we're not asking a lot from you. I think a lot of masterminds that I've seen, you pay the money and they're asking a lot from you. When you say, or if you have a thought of, well, I don't have time to join a mastermind, that's really an excuse. It's like saying I don't have time to work out. It just means it's not a priority to you. And by the way, that's totally fine. That's completely fine. We don't really want anyone to be part of it that isn't going to make it a priority. But to Vince's point, it's just an hour and a half once a month, and we record every mastermind. So if for any reason you can't attend one or two, you can watch the recording, and we record them regardless, because sometimes it's just nice to go back and reference. Yeah. I think, yeah. So why don't we break down what actually happens during a 90-minute mastermind call? And this is our structure. Again, feel free to structure yours differently, but this is what it would be like if you were to join an Irie Lemon Mastermind call. So we do an intro. So everyone goes in and kind of does good news, right? Yeah. Talks about what's going on in their businesses, and we connect back. So you want to do your own mastermind. By the third time, you're gonna have that camaraderie. So it's not gonna be weird. The first one might be weird, and you'll want to schedule more time in the beginning or calls to have built-in time for chit chat and all that. But it is important, because then you can kind of get right into it. Yeah, and so people say what's going on, updates, and we check back into the. So we also do a hot seat. Yeah. So that hot seat you go on is like 20 minutes maybe, or longer, depending on the hot seat and what your issue is. And then you get 8, 10, 12 people, whoever's in your mastermind, to give you back constructive feedback on what they think could help you in that issue. Right. Which is amazing, because now you have 12 ideas that can change your business. Right. Yeah. And that can really affect your next quarter. Right. And so that's one thing that's great. And then we kind of end the call with questions or. Well, you're missing another big part of it. Is we do.
Vince doesn't write the agendas.
I didn't show up, guys.
No, we do. The first part is we all update each other on our 30-day goal. So we all set 30-day goals each month. So check in on that. And then at the end, you set your next 30-day goals.
Oh, I didn't say that.
So you kind of sandwich that in between the hot seat. But the hot seat really is like the meat of the call. It's one person each month. They get 3 minutes to describe their problem. It could be any sort of challenge they're facing.
Yeah.
And yeah, like you said, everyone gives a solution. So you leave with like 8 solutions.
And you also get a call with Liz and I.
Yeah.
Or one-on-one, depending how you want to handle it. But,
yeah.
So that's also
great. Another membership perk.
Yeah.
Is a one-on-one call with us.
One-on-one call with us. And so if you want to structure your mastermind like that, you totally can. But also that's some of the benefits of how we structure our 90-minute call. And I know I think it sounds kind of open and not as structured, but the reason why you want that is because you want flow of conversation.
Right.
And you don't want to be too dialed in. You want to be respectful of everybody's time. Yeah. You want to give the most valuable possible.
And that's why, obviously, how we have it is that I do track the time during the call. That way you make sure everyone's talking evenly. If someone hasn't chimed in, I make sure to get them to talk. Because you will probably, you'll have some extroverts and some introverts. So you kind of got to make sure you have someone that's like tracking if someone hasn't spoken up or given their solution. So there's another perk of the Irie Lemon Mastermind. And that is the fact that I have leveraged basically my personal network to help others. Because due to what I've done, where I've lived, the fact that I have an online business, I have a very large network of 6-figure business owners in so many different industries. And I know firsthand, partly from doing this podcast, that we know so many people that would benefit from talking to one another. And I know that if I was maybe less connected or just for some reason hadn't met as many people, I'd want to kind of jump into that network. So essentially I'm using this as a way to let anyone into my network, and then I make everybody friends.
Yeah. What's the quote? Your network is your net worth.
Yeah. And I have a really big network. I've worked all over the country. I've worked for large businesses. I've been in sales, so I've just made a lot of contacts. And, I have a lot of clients for national CPG brands. And as such, now I know a lot of creatives. And for whatever reason, I'm in the world of social networking for a living. So I have a large social network. And I just felt like I'm always looking for ways to make the most impact. Partly from you opening my eyes to how important that is, Vin. So just like we do the podcast, I wanted to find a way to leverage my network for not just my own benefit. I mean, I already know these people. I can already reach out to them anytime. But Vince might not know someone, or someone else might not know someone. And you know how that all goes. And now we all know Vince's network, and now we know his network, and now we know her network. And I just think it's so important to foster and really curate those high quality networks.
So guys, you're not sold yet. You better get sold. Irie Lemon, is it irielemon.com/mastermind?
Yeah, I think so. We'll link to it.
Sign up, limited time. Share with a friend, share with a business owner. Please sign up.
Yeah, applications close. Enrollment closes December 15th.
Guys, there's so much fire on our calls too. Like, you should have seen the last one.
Oh yeah, it got a little heated.
Okay, so you want that boost in that month? You're feeling down in that month? You're already on fire? You want someone to throw some more gasoline on you?
It's always everyone's favorite call of the month.
Yeah. So
it always is.
Apply. Anything else?
I think you covered it.
All right,
Bye.
Hey, you're gonna learn this jazz today. Yes, you're going to learn this jazz. Ooh, I even got your girl some jazz yesterday.